and management company of Sugar City FM 90.3. Nor are such statements necessarily supported or endorsed by the owners, managers, or advertisers of the station. While we encourage all to share their opinions, we do not support any comments that may slander, discriminate, or otherwise offend anyone, and we insist that you refrain from any such statements.
Fellow citizens, near and far, join Newrish Nital on Sugar City 90.3 for Fear No Favor.
Where is the cancer Pandora come out for war?
Tune in to 90.3 on your FM dial. Log on to sugarcityfmsinkits.com or download Simple Radio app from the Google Play Store. And join Newrish Nital every Thursday night from 8 to 10 p.m. as Newrish Nital tackles the issues and take your call. Fear No Favor. Every Thursday night from 8 to 10 p.m. on Sugar City 90.3 FM.
Good evening and welcome to Fear in Our Favor. And with me, I have a special friend as a guest here with me tonight, and we're going to have an informative, instructive, and very comfortable, unscripted discussion here tonight in the person of the Honorable Sam Conda.
Thank you very much, Nital. I want to thank you sincerely for inviting me to this program. I'm very pleased to be part of it. I know you are interested in the development of our people in all areas, but sports one area in particular, and so we want to speak about that and basically the development of the country and, you know, what we need to do to take our country to the next level.
And I couldn't ask for a more rounded person with experience, knowledge, and mental acuity to be here with me this evening. Once again, welcome.
Thank
and we
you.
have quite
It's
a
very
lot
kind.
of persons listening, a lot of persons listening.
Yeah.
I was surprised that this word got around. I didn't even get a chance to push it around. Somebody might have been eavesdropping on our telephone conversation. And I want to thank you for the spontaneous response because it was on very short notice and the week was a short one. It started when Tuesday.
Yep.
And we really try to put something together. Tonight we're going to look at some sports. We're also going to be looking at our structure, our system, the portfolios of certain ministers. And I want to tweak in a little bit the 4-day work week. Because I had a conversation, and I hope I'm not ambushing you.
No,
man.
man.
I had
These
a
are things we're discussing all the time.
Right.
Yes, so.
I had a conversation, and my interpretation of the 4-day work week was kind of different to what I heard from the authorities. And we'll talk about, I think we'll also talk a bit about education.
Definitely.
Because there's an area there that is susceptible to resistance, and persons might be resisting, and we want to make sure that we understand. I don't know if you got a chance to get that booklet.
The
No?
education booklet?
The one that the individual did put out.
No.
Okay,
No.
but we could just, in general,
Yeah,
say where it's supposed to come from. Now, let us look at sports first. We had witnessed the completion of the Carifta Games. I think we might have gotten, what, three silvers?
Three
Three
silvers,
silvers. And even though the youngster, just finished a math class with him, he comes to my classes, he did a much better time than last year.
Did his personal best.
And
Did
he
a
did a
personal-
personal best,
Yeah.
but he came second.
Yeah.
And I think what is happening to us, Mr. Conda, is that we've been emphasizing personal best for almost 20 years. And as a result of that, I think that the athletes might have reached a plateau, a comfort zone. That once I could go a little better than what I would have done before, it doesn't really matter because I'm coming back with a personal best.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you think about that because
No,
we have a
no,
lot of level
no.
5. We have a lot of level 5 coaches. Why
Yeah,
aren't we
yeah.
converting those best into medals?
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. Because personal best not supposed to be, well, personal best should be a first, a gold. But personal best given a second, which is really not good enough. And so we have to see how what we need to do to get to the next level. And that's what we are talking about. First thing I want to suggest to you, and
Yes.
you're somebody who understands these things and would, I'm sure, get your views on this. What we need to do is a kind of a academy, right? We have to raise the standard a little bit, and we have to incorporate it into education. What we have now are some sport coaches going around, they put the guys on the track and so on. But what we want is, we want it in school. We want it as part of the education system. So we have the sports department, we have the coaches. You say we have a lot of level 5
Level 5,
coaches and
yes.
so on.
Right.
But what we want now is coaches in school, teachers who will be able to do the extra, to do the development, to take. Have you seen it and thinking it? You know, getting, reaching to a higher level.
But do you think that can be accomplished with the present school system that we have, or we need to have an institution specifically designed for that and put a system in place rather than have them going to normal school? Because if I get up 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock to go train, and then I have to hustle to the gym, go to the chat, do a few workouts, and then I come back and have to go home to get ready for 8:30.
Yeah.
I may fall asleep in the class as well.
You see, and well, we're saying that is an idea too, and that's where we could work on. But we have to see what best suits us, because I was talking about first about the academy. That is what you're talking about.
Yes,
putting
yes.
a special
Organizing
academy,
the institution.
But I don't know, and we have to look at what the other thing I was talking about is having some of our teachers, our trained teachers. You know, people who go to the CFBC, but they're sports people. You know. Our coaches are not teachers, not trained teachers. They're just sports people. But we need to get the coaches, some of the coaches in school who teach in the intellectual, academic things, mixing up that with our,
It's amazing, because I don't know if I had a son, they call him Speed Man.
Of course.
At the age of 13, and so people under 18 wasn't beating him at all.
Yeah.
And he went, when Vassy High School got 7 gold medals, he would have gotten at least 4 or 5 of them. Now, I usually put my kids to do exams very early, CXC exam. He's in 5th form. But then I put him to do exam in 3rd form. So he went, and apparently one of his CXC exams coincided with that time when he was supposed to have promotion exam. So a teacher called me. Teacher was basically crying. She said she was disappointed because as a result of him not getting to do the promotion exam because he went to do the CXC exam very early, they voted to give him a 0 instead of making provision to have him come and sit the exam.
Exactly. And that's so easy.
Man.
That's not rocket science, People do that all over the world. That's you have to do. You have this assignment. It's a national effort, and say, look, you're going to come. We give you a special dispensation. You're going to come this day or that time and do your exam.
Because the CXC syllabus is out there early, the timetable.
That's easy.
So when you're planning your school promotion exam,
exactly,
you must look at it and say, well, I wonder if you have any students registered to do English, maths, accounts, whatever. And we see how best we can accommodate them. Accommodation seems to be a problem. You cannot have individuals working like hell to put the school and the map to get a goal, but yet if they have a conflict with timetable, you're not making the effect.
Because
flexibility.
we have to stop operating in this silo system. We have that there. We have to combine it in a integrated, cooperative manner, and that's easy to do. That is what they do in Jamaica and those countries. That is why they are able to bring the sporting,
to that level.
To that level. it is
And the pathway out of poverty too.
yeah, it is a national effort. I mean, the sports budget. You know, I mean, when you go to organize a sports budget, you know, you have the input of the entire cabinet. The cabinet understand that this year is sports and what sports means. Sports is ranked at, you know, given a certain priority and so on. And if you want to achieve that, then the Ministry of Finance must understand that. The Ministry of Education must understand that. The Ministry of Tourism must understand that.
Interdepartmental.
You know,
Yes.
the silo kind of operation.
If I give you a classic, Mr. Conda, you would not believe. I spoke to Jacinth Francis, you know, the youngster who bought that medal.
Yeah.
That's her grandson.
Yeah, I know that.
And I was telling her about the situation where they voted to give my son a 0 because he conflicted. She said, well, the same Akanya went to the place to train because the Carifta was coming up. So he reached back, tired and whatever, and he reached up the school a little bit late for his first class. And the teacher didn't allow him to come in the class. You could imagine that. You go train because you have a big meet coming up to represent your country. And you reach school late, whether 20 minutes late, 15 minutes late. And the youngster said to you, you're training and you just think with the time. And you tell him don't come in your class?
Yeah.
I mean, how that could be? This is the same youngster we want to bring home a medal for us. He brought home a gold medal last year. He do a better time and brought home a silver. How could you subject him to such embarrassment?
Yeah. Yes, and that's what I was saying, Nital, and that is why we have to get it right. You know, we have to get it right, and we hope that programs like these will help to get it right. It isn't we don't want to say we are criticizing or condemning.
We're critiquing.
Critiquing. That's it. And so this is how we are going to get it right, because if we are to fulfill our potential, you know, these young people to fulfill their potential, we have to invest in them. I mean, a lot of people really don't know, you know, the amount of investment that went into Kim Collins. I mean, people think, well, you know, Kim Collins fast and he just getting. I mean, I was the Minister of Sports in 1995, the Labour government, and it's June that time, 1995 to 2005, that Kim Collins was really thing. And sometime we had to take the whole sports budget to fund Kim Collins. I remember Traffic in Jenkins coming to say, Sam, we want to send off Kim to Jamaica to do something, this program, this, and we want to send off Kim to New York, we want to send off Kim to somewhere else. And we had to find the money. I got to my permanent secretary, Horatio. Horatio said, but Sam, this is the whole sports budget here. I said, well, we have to find, let's go to the Ministry of Finance.
Right.
Let's tell the minister this is important.
Department.
Yeah. So that is what I was saying. We want a new approach about this thing. We have to understand what it is we are doing. It must be a national effort. And so I hope that a conversation like this will spark that kind of discussion and debate about how we can go forward. We cannot.
It is expensive to be an athlete, you know?
Absolutely.
Especially train hard enough to be up there.
I mean, even you would know the diet.
Yes, the nutrition, yes.
The exercise, you know, the gym work, the academic
cost
work.
associated with it.
Yeah.
And if you really want
psychological and
above your shoulders, right?
Yeah.
We have to be supportive.
Yep.
Jason Rogers is one who was coming behind and performing like him. He got medals and thing. And one time I took him to live with me for 8 months because it was just pure problems out there for him. He had to eat right. He got to go to the gym.
Yep.
He has to wake up at a particular time. He got to get sufficient rest. And it was a bit disastrous because how they were funding him, it was insufficient.
Yeah.
So you find that he would do a 10.3 now, and out of season he gone up to 11.1. All because he could not sustain from a nutrition perspective.
That is why,
come from, look, it's expensive.
It has to be a coordinated, organized system where we have an integrated approach. And we decide how we are going to you know, train our athletes, especially you identify them early, where they're gonna go, what they're gonna go. That is why I say we have to get a integration between the sports department and the education.
You're correct. But the problem we have is that when the athletes finish with school, the clubs that they have, the athletic clubs, man, they're dysfunctional, man. So we lose a lot of our athletes by the time they finish secondary school. There's no other step to move on unless one or two of them might get a scholarship to go overseas. But the gap, you got to look at a club championship. The athletes are the spectators.
Let me tell
The
you
athletes are
in
interschool
fact,
is the biggest thing we have.
Wilshire was giving me a list of the number of persons we have had over time. I don't know, this is not in chronological order, but I'm going to start with Kim Collins.
Yes.
Right? With Kim Collins. People who have excelled in sports, went off and come back, and what are they doing? What is the role? Why are we not incorporating them? But we have Diane Donald Francis,
Yes.
who went off early. Eric Gonzo Haynes.
Haynes working my thing there.
You have
Finance.
Maxim Isaiah.
Yes.
Walter Johnson. What's the name? Elrico Francis. The president of the Athletics Association now, Delwyn Delaney. We have Virgil Hodge.
Yes.
Maritza Williams. Marcia Maynard.
Yes.
Brown. Tamika Williams. I mean,
Camps.
yeah.
But we are our female athletes though.
Exactly. Why are we not using these people in order to, inspire, to assist? I mean, they must be an integral part of this thing. That is what happened in Jamaica.
And a concerted effort must be made. It must not happen accidentally that she came around and she decided that she would help.
Yeah.
Because I believe
There
Kim
must be a
has
part of the
elite group.
program. Yeah, exactly.
You need a lens for athletes. And when you identify them, you put them on a trajectory.
Absolutely.
Only then you'll be able to make projection that they could medal.
Yeah.
You just can't get up and train because of meat just around the corner.
You have said it more eloquently that I've been trying to say. That's what I've been trying to say all
And
night.
train just for meat. You got to be all year round. What happened to our netball? When I look at the World Championship with Jamaica and Trinidad, Australia, those people, I feel proud for the Jamaicans. We beat these people already, twice already.
Yeah.
So we're
Twice Caribbean Championship.
Yeah, we're our netballers. What are we going to do? I think that I don't know, they will talk about trying to revive this netball thing, but sometimes we got a lot of powerful talk and last just a short moment.
Yeah.
The netballers them can come. When Michelle went off to Barbados, the Barbados government was getting her to was trying to get her to play for Barbados. She said, "No, I have to play for my country." You understand?
Yeah.
She got a scholarship. Michelle Joe.
Of course.
Yeah, Barman.
Of
My
course.
family there.
What do you mean?
So we just can't sit back and let these things fall.
No.
And we got to make up our mind. It's not everybody who is going to do it to reach further with an idea of furthering. Some of them will do it for fun, some will do it for whatever.
Yeah.
You must be, as a coach, able to identify those who can reach places and give them the help that they want. Yeah, we have to.
Yeah, but these things are not going to happen by accident,
Concerted effort.
Effort.
Put systems in place.
Exactly.
And you have to understand it. This is sometimes when you put people around sports, you have to understand it. Sport is something that comes from your heart. If you have it in your heart, it will come to your head and you put proper planning on paper. We haven't done that in a while.
That is why I tell you, Nital, we not only want the sports department where you have the coaches, but we want teachers, people who are trained in teaching, who have the sports knowledge and ability to go into, mix them up in the school. Those successive athletes, they don't only come off the track, they come out the schools. The preparation is a mental, intellectual. That is what is going to...
The mindset, because you have something to work towards.
Exactly. And you understand that. in school. That must be taught to you.
Instill in our young
That must
kids,
be inculcated. People must understand what it is they're doing, why they're doing it, how they do it.
Let me ask a question, because you used to be within the system. When you put, say, $50,000 for sports, do you have line items? This go towards cricket, this go towards football, this go... How
No,
does it go?
You have a sports budget,
Yeah,
and
that
to spend
budget.
general sports.
Just general?
Yeah. But that is what I'm saying. We want to have, for example, when I became the Minister of Sport, right, Dwyer myself,
Yes.
we decided tourism. He said, Sam, we're going to have a collaboration here. That's why we get. You remember we had the triathlon and so on.
Yes.
That was all.
Where that gone?
I don't know. That was all collaboration between sports and tourism.
tourism.
And we wanted that. We were trying to get a collaboration as well in terms of education. That didn't happen. But I believe that is how we have to start again. Go back to the idea where we have, we understand sports as a national thing,
We got to reset.
You
We need a
have to
in
reset.
sports.
Yeah.
No, serious.
Yeah. And so it must get the attention of the cabinet. The Ministry of Finance must understand what it is we need for sports. What it is the country needs for sports.
Because when you spoke about Tim, and Horatio told you that was the complete sports budget.
Yeah.
That is why I'm asking, how do they divide the money?
Exactly. Well, as I said, you have to put out. That's why I say it can't be left to the Minister of Sports looking at. The Minister of Finance must understand what it is to do. The Minister of Education must understand what it is. The Minister of Tourism must understand what is needed.
But some of our sports, they get funding from international bodies.
Yeah.
Like cricket, we get money from cricket,
yeah.
700 and something
And
thousand.
football, FIFA give us a lot of
and
money.
Football.
Yeah.
But track and field now, the only thing we used to really get was clothing, attire. When Kim was being sponsored by whoever he was sponsored by. Other than that, we might not have been able to outfit our athletes.
Yeah.
He made a strong contribution and people took it for granted. But look at it now.
Yeah.
Where these things coming from? Who leading the way for us to get sponsorship and donation to our athletes?
That is why I'm saying that, and I hope I'm understanding it, the people understand it, that what we want to have, sports must be understood in terms of national development. And so the government, this has to be responsibility not of the Ministry of Sports or the Minister of Sports. It must be responsibility of the cabinet, of the government. And what we have to do, education have to understand what part they have to play in this. And the curriculum, what you're saying in terms of accommodating these people so that they could do the exams and the training and so on, and there's no conflict. So they have to understand that.
No, you're absolutely correct. They need help. They need to know that they are secured. I mean, track and field is track and field, but there must be a direction. There must be encouragement. Some parents will tell, no, you have a choice between sports and academics. Most of them will say, try to get your academic because they seem not to be working in unison. And as a result of that, people telling their children, go for your academics. But we ain't supposed to have to make that choice.
Because that's supposed to be worked out nationally.
Right.
That's supposed to be planned for them. They must be able to tell you, to guide them. That is what I'm saying. The education system must be part of the sporting system. So people don't have, they're guided. They're instructed. They're advised. You don't have to make the choices. We are doing it for you. That is how the system must work.
But it is far from that way.
Yeah, I know, because we're not.
Very, very far.
And one of the things about getting that done is to make sure that we include. I mean, the Athletic Association, are they including people like you, people like Wilshire and them who've been there for traffic, Jenkins? What are they doing? I mean, these are people who have been there. Is there a collaboration? Is there an involvement?
Something took place the other day, Mr. Kondo, and it really pained my heart. You had a championship between Basse High and Washi. They had this gentleman from Jamaica, high-colored skin, if you want to put it that way. After the game, he reached out for some of the guys, and he was talking with them. Some of them parents realized what was going on at the hustle on and the field, and they got a part of they became a part of the conversation. Now, this gentleman would have taken up several of the youngsters, and these youngsters were a part of the National Development Program. The president here was not involved. The parents them maybe went to the schools, get a transcripts to give them to work with, and they gone off to Jamaica. It didn't even come to the government. And I wonder what craziness is this? No, I'm serious. How could that happen? The president of the Football Association, Atiba Harris, he was not involved. I called him and I asked him, how could you make such a decision? Where is the government? How somebody could just take people out of a pool of persons who you invested in and just get up and go on with them? You aware of anything like that?
No, first time I'm hearing it.
Yeah, I mean, how could a school give a transcript? To me, when you're giving a transcript, you're sending it to another academic institution. Well, who did they send it to?
Yeah.
They said the man telling them how he got a lot of cars and he got a big house, and some of the parents
impressed by that.
They were on the Jews as far as they're concerned. He impressed them, and some of them gone.
Yeah.
Some of them, he had one of them, they registered to do exams with me, English exam, May-June.
And he
gone.
Yeah.
But they're telling me that they're going to make provision for them to do it in Jamaica. But I ain't sure about that. How come the government wasn't a part of that?
But they can't make provision. That could only be done by the Ministry of Education.
Right.
How they going to make provision? They can't make provision for him to do an exam in Jamaica. It has to come to the Ministry of Education.
And I wonder why, and then when I asked for more details, the person who was at the nucleus with the man trying to get players, because apparently he got some big academy, and the people I'm going to stay there from they get them very young, and when they come up, he commission. But the parents, they might have to send money a month time to support the children.
That's pure madness.
I don't understand how we could succumb to such enticement. It is not right. It is not right. And the person told me that when they had the match, Basse High versus Washi, you had children in the stand rolling marijuana and smoking it. So the guy, a gentleman, apparently tell them, well, we're saying at anything to offer you and to take all you away from this path, that trajectory that you're all on. I want to carry some of your Jamaica. But who got more marijuana than Jamaica? No, you understand?
Yeah.
And why parents just succumb to that and let the children them gone? You must have a conversation with Atiba. I called him. I said, I'm disappointed. He said, well, Nital, you ain't had anything to do with that, And he said he was going to call the president of the Jamaica Football Association to have a conversation. Imagine the match was a Friday. And he wanted to leave with them Sunday. So some of the parents said, no, they ain't ready yet. So he put it off until the following Sunday. And I asked, where is the government?
Where's the government
to be
in that?
protecting these youngsters?
Yeah.
They were part of an investment program, and they just set them and gone with them. So who going to give back the association the money they invested in these youngsters?
But you don't even know what's going to happen to these youngsters.
Right, we don't know.
No.
Man, I feel so heartbroken. Yes, they're gone, and the person tell me, well, people that take up the children and send them St. Thomas and change school and change that. But if you go in St. Thomas, you go Charlotte, Mali, High, whatever, Canquine, and you send the transcript there.
Yeah.
But where is the institution,
right,
apart from the academy that they're going to, that you're sending the transcript to?
And what we know about the academy, is there any knowledge, that any research done on that academy? Who is it, when it's established, how long it's been going on?
So you don't believe somebody should have stepped up, because they ought to have known, and try to guide the parents. Don't send off your children like that. Do a little more research. If they play Friday and you want to go with them Sunday, why the desperation? Because they're going to be there for a number of years.
A number of years, like how many years?
If you could get them 10 years and 11, they would stay until whenever they develop to make some kind of team to bring back some return on the capital he invested.
How
That's
many
how
of
we-
them gone?
I don't even know, to be honest.
That sound
but they
like
were trying
madness
to
to
go
me.
with the same Jevon's son.
Uh-huh.
And your grandmother said nothing to Augusto. Jevon said nothing to Augusto.
That doesn't make sense.
Huh?
You
just take a
you
picture
don't
and
know
go with them.
how the people got here. Who are they?
He came here, apparently they had some tournament. Jamaica under 20, some tournament they had.
So he brought a team here.
Well, he didn't bring a team, but what happened is that he had maybe one or two players playing for the Jamaican under 20. So he stayed around and see if he can pick out some youngsters and go with them.
That sounds
I
crazy
suppose
to
that
me.
you ain't hear that.
No. First
Somebody
time I'm
like
hearing
you
this.
who's so much involved in sports, nobody pass it by your ears and say, boy, son, what you think about this?
First time I'm hearing this.
It take me about 2 weeks. I even lose appetite and things.
So when that happened? When
Within the past month, just within a month, the man gone with the people, children. I can't say it like that because they agreed to it. Some resisted. Just
Oh,
they
boy.
said that she grandson ain't going anywhere. And Jevon, they said he ain't going anywhere either. But what about those who did not have a strong support to say no way in this? And when they asked him
Well,
about how they're going to be financed, he said, well, I'm going to be clothing them, housing them.
What about
And so I expect not to send any money. You understand? So the parents would have to send money to the children.
and what about the education? The academy, all that is built into the academy?
Well, I try to find out, and that's what I said. I said I try to get them to the exam, but I don't know if there's an academic department. Or he just want these guys and for the skill
but they can't do no sexy. Sexy deals with government, Ministry of Education. So academy can get them to do an examination.
So who the high school head teachers them, why they produce the transcript and not have a conversation with government ministers to make them know that this thing was going to happen? Something wrong with us.
Yeah.
Something really wrong. People, children just gone. In this day and age, people, children just gone. I mean, some of them disappear under better circumstances. You don't know this person. Show them a picture, a big house, a lot of cars. How that sound to you? Sound kind of to me, to be honest.
Yeah. That's,
You must have a conversation with them. How the head teachers them
So
provide a transcript to give these parents for the children to walk with.
But what about the Ministry of Sport and the Ministry of Education? They haven't had any intervention.
Not at all. They just get up and gone. That is why I call a Tibo. I said, man, I'm disappointed. What's going on here? And he said, well, he's not a part of that. The man tried to stand up in the stand where they want to take a picture and put it on his website as if to say, well, he got the corporation of the people here. And the man said, no. Atiba said, I'm going to call the president of the Jamaica Football Association right now because they were trying to stop it. I said, so why you all can't take out an injunction to prevent this man from leaving with people's children? Some of them just 15 years.
No, that don't sound.
Sound like madness. I wonder, well, who got the power of attorney to say, well, these people not going anywhere with our children. They were part of a program, money spent on them already, and you just take them out of the pool or developmental pool and disappear with them, and it just happened like that. Nobody tried to stop them. Yeah, boy, we need better guidance for our children. Better guidance. Better guidance. You must get a conversation with Jacinta and she can tell you what is what.
Well, we need to know. I mean, this is something that I, would want to bring to the attention of the government, the Ministry of Education. So, I mean, we have to follow. We have a responsibility for our children. We have to sometimes protect people from themselves. That is part of the responsibility of the government. And so, I'm hearing this for the first time. So,
serious?
Yeah, first time I didn't hear about this. So, this is something that needs to be further investigated. That our young people gone out there. We don't know where they're gone, who they're gone to, what is going to happen to them. We have to follow that, and the government could do that, because we could contact the government of Jamaica, and to know who this gentleman is, and what this thing is about, and if it is something that is profitable and beneficial,
come to the government.
Then we regularize it. But it can't happen like that.
And go with
No.
Man, I really don't know.
No,
Small place like this, and everybody should have been aware of that.
Yeah, but no. We have to take up this. We have to take up this at a higher level. We don't know. How could people's children go off like that?
Cannot be right. God bless Jevon and his mother to resist sending a Kanye there. Football academy it is. But if your academy, you're so well known, you should have better structure to communicate with people.
Yeah. Not a one man coming out.
Yeah, and just
we
picking
shouldn't
up
know.
people.
That should be an official thing on the news. We should have seen that in a news item on the radio stations and newspaper, that we have this man here. He's visiting. He's a head of the academy, Jamaican Academy. This is what it has done. This is the reputation and the benefit.
Right.
We are coming here, formal thing from the government to the government.
I try to intervene and try to investigate as much as possible. And a person who was very close to the gentleman said, well, I told her the government should be a part of it. And she said to me, the government got people underage living by themselves. Why they don't go take up that? So you see the kickback?
Yeah.
You got a lot of children done with school, underage, living on their own, and nobody taking on that. But if that's a national problem, we could address that. But you don't make it any worse for us. And because they're wrapping the weed and they're smoking it, and tell them saying at anything to offer.
We have a responsibility to make sure that happens. We must intervene. That doesn't justify that happening.
Right. So that is the justification you're trying to give, that the man witnessed that, and he realized that he got to find a better place. Just so?
Yeah. A man come from Jamaica and coming to help us here to find a better place.
A better place.
There's nobody in Jamaica who want to looking after.
Right.
Who are the bribe and delinquent and want looking after.
Trying to embarrass the country.
Yeah.
And the schools, them sending off transcript. You just give up your student like that?
No.
Man, those head teachers should be brought before.
But the school can't send off the transcript. Transcripts come from the Ministry of Education, So I don't know how they could get transcript. Transcript has to come from the Ministry of Education.
To be sent where?
Institution. To another institution. If anybody wants a transcript, if you want a transcript, you don't go to your school.
The school, I understand, gave them
the Ministry of Education is responsible for issuing transcript.
To go through.
Yeah, because all the results are in the Ministry of Education.
Yes.
They are the repository of all this information. So schools can't give out transcript.
You will find out. Just call the people and let them give an account as to where the child who was a part of this institution, where he gone. Give an account. You can't facilitate something like that.
No.
Let us take a break and come back.
Fellow citizens, near and far, join Newrish Nital on Sugar Soda 90.3 for Fear No Favor.
Where is man? Where is the cancer man? No runner come out for war.
Tune in to 90.3 on your FM dial. Log on to SugarCityFMSaintKitts.com or download Simple Radio app from the Google Play Store. And join Newrish Nital every Thursday night from 8 to 10 p.m. as Newrish Nital tackles the issues and take your call. Fear No Favor every Thursday night from 8 to 10 p.m. on Sugar City 90.3 FM. Fellow citizens, near and far, join Newrish Nital on Sugar Soda 90.3 for Fear No Favor.
Where is man? Where is the cancer man? No runner come out for
Tune in to 90.3 on your FM dial. Log on to sugarcityfmsankits.com or download Simple Radio app from the Google Play Store.
Welcome back to Fear in Our Favor. And my guest is still here, the Honorable Sam Conda. And we're having a very interactive session, informative. And some of you who didn't catch it tonight would go on the World Wide Web and get it from Facebook or YouTube, and you can listen it. Some people choose to do it that way, listen it over and over, because we're going to discuss quite a number of things. Now, Mr. Conda, former Deputy Prime Minister, we want to look at the next area. And please, we are not trying to be controversial in any way. We're just having a discussion.
Yeah.
Now, we have a reasonably young government. The composition of it. Some of them would have never been in government before. You had the Honorable Mr. Douglas.
He's the
Dr.
only
Douglas.
person. Who would.
Right. Stripped of that, they're very inexperienced. They're most of them in the embryonic stages, so they're learning on the job. It's not like they were there before and they're coming back. They're actually learning on the job. But when we look at the portfolios, I personally feel that is a little bit too much for given the inexperience of the composition that we have of the administration. And I was wondering whether, this is my suggestion, whether or not maybe you could have taken away 1/5 from each minister with respect to, let us say, 5 things they had to do. And you find somebody else to add up those 1/5, maybe 4, one person get 4, so that's 4/5. And the minister would be left with 4/5. So you do it until you take the overwhelming nature of the portfolio. I don't know if it would take constitutional adjustment.
When you say give somebody, who is that person you're going to give?
Well, it could be a junior minister.
You see, you have to work with the cabinet you have.
Yes.
And we have, in terms of our system, we have 11 constituencies.
Yes.
It takes 6 of that, right? 6 of the 11 to form the government.
Yes.
Right? And so you have 6 ministers, right? And then you have the government get 2 senators, right? Plus the attorney general, right? And so of those 2 senators, one has to be, of those 2 senators, you could give them portfolio. If you want to make one of them of the a minister, then you have to make sure that you get a deputy speaker who is not part of the cabinet, because a deputy speaker cannot be part of the cabinet. So if you have 2 senators, you have to get a deputy speaker from outside of the cabinet in order to make sure that you use those 2. So that is all you have. You have your 6 ministers, 6 elected members who could be ministers, and then you have 2 senators who could be ministers, and then you have the attorney general, right? So there's nobody else. You can't bring in anybody else in the cabinet.
Well, that is why I'm asking if adjustment cannot be made whether constitutionally.
Well, you could get a bigger cabinet if you have more elected representatives. So if you increase the number of constituencies.
From 11 to 13 or whatever.
Yeah.
Because you can, of course, you have the PS and you have directors.
Yeah, right.
But you can delegate responsibility.
Well,
but you cannot delegate accountability.
No. In terms of ministerial responsibility, you can delegate a ministerial responsibility. The PSs, they have their responsibility. In fact, it is the PSs, it is who run the cabinet, and the minister is responsible for policy. But it is the ministry, the permanent secretary, who is the accounting officer and who is the chief administrative officer.
Yes.
And he has people to assist him. So it It is the civil service. So what you need in order to run the government efficiently is a highly functional, effective, efficient civil service.
Okay, that is where some advisors would come in.
Well, advisors, yeah, but
the only
advisors can be a minister. No.
But the advising.
Yeah,
And
the advising, right.
Deciding.
Yeah.
Deciding.
Right.
And sometimes, to be honest, you have to ask a genuine question.
Mm-hmm.
What is the role of the advisor?
Mm-hmm.
What have these advisors been advising, or they are public relations officer? Because I see it as a sort of hybrid. I see it as a sort of hybrid. And I believe if somebody is advising the government in whatever capacity, there must come a time when there could be some consultation, where they could ask a few questions. Because if you're advising the government, for example, on, say, water, digging for water,
Yeah.
but you don't quite understand.
You could only advise if you understand.
Right. So the advising part is key.
Yeah.
It is key. And you must be rounded in your area that you're advising in.
So advisor must be somebody who is knowledgeable,
Right.
who understands, who is capable of a specific area, subject area, certain, discipline, So that's what the advisor must be able to do to assist the government. Let me tell you something. When we went into government in 1995, was a new government. Nobody had any experience in government, right? You had Dr. Douglas and myself, who were members of Parliament from 1989, and we were there until 1990. But nobody had any. The US didn't have any parliamentary experience. They didn't have any government experience. None of us had government. But we had people like Limo, St. John Payne, Fitzroy Bryant, and then we had a number of public servants like Horatio Versailles, Senior, Miss Watley, the fellow Morton, Wycliffe Morton, and so they were able to
That's Pam Morton's brother.
Yes.
He was an international.
He was in foreign affairs. Yeah, he was a legal guy, and so they were able to advise us because they knew the thing. They knew what happened. The permanent secretary who were able to do their work. I mean, let me just give you an example. When in 1990 or something, the CT, the Common External Tariff, what we're dealing with in CARICOM, when that was supposed to be introduced in Parliament, we had the debate. I remember they sent us the order paper, and we had this. And we see the CT. And Dr. Douglas said, boy, Sam, what CT this? How would this go? We ain't know about this. He said, but ratio is the neighbor. Ratio is the thing. So go up there and ask ratio, how we could do this thing, and so on. And I went to court. I said, ratio, boy, everything. He said, boy, ratio said, boy, so I'm really going to tell you right now in your court, are you going to go advising the government? Are you doing this thing and so on? And, I don't really got the time, and so I can't deal with this now. So the debate come, and me and Douglas in there learning as we go along.
Learning on the job.
And then when we got into government in 95, Douglas said, boy, Sam, you see this CARICOM thing? We are going to establish a Ministry of CARICOM Affairs. That's when the Ministry of CARICOM Affairs was established in 95. We didn't have a ministry. He said, boy, this is so important to our regional development and understanding of what's happening. And he made me the Minister of CARICOM Affairs when he was established. And so we went there, had people like Ratio and, St. John and them who were, be able to sing. So it is a whole learning process. And that is what's supposed to be happening with the government. The government ain't supposed to know everything, You're supposed to know they're not all scientists and economists and doctors and so on. But what you're doing is the overall policy thing, and then it is the civil servants them who will implement these things. It is the civil servants and the civil service. That is why we have to get a highly efficient, effective civil service in order to to make the government function properly.
It seems as if of late, previous administration, this administration, we have an increase in the number of advisors, right? And I don't know if they don't tangle up each other sometimes. No, serious. No, serious.
Yeah.
You know, I know that we are not proficient at everything, but somebody must have a level of expertise.
Yeah, understanding,
when you come
basic
and you
understanding
talk
of
to
yeah,
me,
yeah. You know
and
what you're
you
talking
say
about.
AB is equal to that. I could feel confident that I go and talk about
Yeah,
it as a result of you explaining it
Right,
to me.
absolutely.
And I should be able to facilitate questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I took the time out to understand what you were telling me.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like an advisor mustn't be too much of a PR. And I said sometimes we get mixed up. We get a little crossing over, intersection between.
No, advisor ain't supposed to know PR. Advisor, the government has this public relations thing, SKNS. That's public relations. That's where you put out your thing. ZIZ, the press secretary for the prime minister is the PR for the government, basically. And you have the ministries. Some ministries will have the PR thing, but advisor is different to PR. Advisor is supposed to be advising on matters to do with the subject area.
Why they're supposed to come on the radio and do PR?
Well, I don't know if that the
provide
PR
information, because I believe if I advising, I should be advising to the benefit of, say, the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
And whatever I discuss with him, he will decide. You're not supposed to come back to me as an advisor and telling me A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4. The Prime Minister is supposed to get a handle of that, wrap his mind around, and then come out and do what he has to do as a leader.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
No advisor is supposed to go ahead.
No, at all.
I don't
at
believe
all,
in
at
that.
all.
It's supposed to happen.
No. Well, no. Of course, that is not the purpose. That is not the function of the advisor. In fact, the press conferences is public relations exercise. It is the government, putting out the policy and the programs, and this is what we're doing. That is the PR.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
not the advisors.
We need to get it right. We need to clean up a bit.
Yeah.
And we're not criticizing, it's just
no.
an observation and two of us experience.
Yeah.
And
you want to tell you something? Our civil service need looking after. I find in the civil service leader, the permanent secretary thing, I see a level of arrogance and disrespect. And I mean, it's just really,
It watered down a bit. It has watered down.
Yeah.
These are the people who paying you.
Yeah.
So you in power, you in authority, try to facilitate.
Yeah.
Don't feel angry because I come in to you with a question.
Yeah.
And if I'm not clear on it, don't feel mad if I ask you to put this shade of grey into distinct shades of black and white.
Yeah.
Some of them need to learn how to talk to people.
Absolutely. It is just, I mean...
You ain't dealing with no...
disrespectful.
Come on.
Arrogant.
Yes. And pompous.
Yeah. I mean, it is really annoying.
It come better than that. This is not what the country all about. Because you could be in charge, and the way you talk to people is accommodating, that they'll put out a little bit more to help you to make you look good.
Yeah.
But if you're arrogant and pompous, not much persons would want to go the extra mile.
Yeah.
Because some of the places, to be honest, I don't know if they got to be shifted up. They have some that would operate better, I assume. Because if you're not...
Better, how you mean? Way better?
Maybe in another...
No, ministry has nothing to do with your behavior and your conduct. If you're arrogant and disrespectful, that's how you be. You shouldn't be a PS.
Follow you.
Yeah. Wherever you go, you're going to be the same.
But this is the problem with PS. Because PS is permanent secretary and should be able to work across administrations.
Yeah.
How many PSs we have that work with Elvis Newton? Just work along with different administrations and perform.
Yeah. Because your role is there. Your role, you're the financial officer. You're responsible for the money, not the minister, you know. You're responsible for how every cent is spent, you know. You're accountable, you know. It's the PS, you know, not the minister, you know. You're accountable for, you're the administrative officer, you're running the ministry. It is the civil service who running the government, not the ministers, you know.
Yes, I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
But if you could only work with one administration, I mean, government administration comes and administration would go. So if you could only work with one, and you know that you don't have it within you to work with the next, have a conscience and say, well, change me.
Yeah.
Have a conscience and say, change me.
Yeah.
But they call it permanent because you're supposed to work with whoever, whatever administration would come along. And we got to stop spoiling them. Let them know that they're there to serve everybody.
Absolutely.
This partisan thing
Absolutely.
cannot work.
Absolutely.
You're working for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you campaign and you do what you have to do. But at the end of the day, when the campaign is over and the victory was had,
you have to do the
you
work.
have to come and work for everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah, it is the civil service who will seek, who will move the country forward, who will get the, you know, from the work. That's what you need, you know, efficient, effective civil service.
If you're frustrated, go. Just go ask for a transfer somewhere else. But if you're frustrated and they transfer you, and maybe, you don't know, we have some people in need of counseling, unfortunately. We have people in reasonably high position because sometimes the work would take a toll on you. I'm a forensic psychologist, and even psychologists sometimes, even a therapist would need therapy at times. And we have something called fit for duty assessment. And if you're overwhelmed with work, you subject yourself, you must have your personal therapist or some therapist within the government structure. Like, I believe that the police force, the soldiers should have a therapist. Because you must carry out what you call fit for duty assessment. Somebody vacation might not be due before December, but then you realize, boy, come June, the man ain't producing. Something got to be wrong. Send him to the psychologist and let him establish what would be best based on an assessment. And he said, instead of giving him the vacation in December, waiting till December, let him take it in September so he could revive and come back. We need fit for duty assessments around here. We need that. And maybe that is where the 4-day work week going to roll over. No, that's
No. You know, how much ever you're working, you want the correct attitude, the mental attitude. I said they are disrespectful, rude, and arrogant. You think here how much days they work? We need people with a different attitude and different behavior.
Yeah, but
if we are to move the country forward.
But outside of them, what is your opinion about the
4-day
work week?
Well, that's gonna need some studying and some analysis. I mean,
maybe you got to run off your pilot projects.
Absolutely,
as well
absolutely. We have to see. The Minister of Labour is keen on that. She has spoken to a lot of people, and I think the central bank is one of the institutions that piloting project. But we have to understand what it is. I mean, people talking about working virtually and so on, and all kind of combination.
But what is
of
your
these
understanding? Wait, let me say something, and then I'll ask what is your understanding. My understanding from somebody involved is that you would work 4 days, but instead of putting out 8 hours, you put out 10. I have a problem with that.
Yeah, because again, we have to do these studies because working long hours might be counterproductive.
You got in economics, you call it diminishing returns.
So all of that thing. So this thing has to be discussed and analyzed, and we have to get even the virtual work, what they say, right? Because sometimes you see half this service. Working virtually, and the other half virtually doing no work. So I mean, we really don't know what's going on, and we have to understand. That's why we are talking about setting up the productivity council. that again is something that we're looking at to see how we could improve the productivity and efficiency of the workforce.
But if you're looking at productivity and you're pushing an agenda for a 4-day work week, because what Bernie Sanders is saying in America is that they must get the same pay, but work only 32 hours. Not work 10 hours, not work 10 hours for 4 days. Work 4 days and just work 32 hours.
So you're working less days and work less hours?
Yes, you get just 32 hours.
So you're working a 32-hour week.
Right, but you
rather
get
than a 40-hour week.
The same pay. I was reading up on his stuff. But here, what I gathered is that people will have to work 10 hours. So the one day that they're missing for 4 days, the 40 hours will come out of 4 days. Okay. I don't know about that.
Yeah. Well, again,
we have people in government start packing up after 6 hours worth of work. No.
Yeah, I know.
Where the government are even private.
Yeah.
No, 8 hours? No, it doesn't work like that.
No.
We lose a little bit of the productivity coming on closer to the end. So how would we get them to work 10?
No.
If we were struggling to keep them for
This
8.
is going to need further study. This isn't anything going to happen, in my view, soon. This is going to take some study and analysis.
Because which would be the first day of the week? Would it be Monday? Because we have quite a number of holidays on Monday. Because if Monday is the first and you're going on to Thursday, that could be problematic from a social perspective because you party Friday, you party Saturday, and you kind of observe a godly thing on Sunday.
Yeah.
So you revive and think Monday. But if Monday is the first day of the week, if you're going on the 4th day,
and then Monday is a holiday.
And you realize Monday now
is a holiday.
Then what happened Tuesday? Because you ain't got no Sunday between Monday and Tuesday to say, well, let me behave myself because I'm going to go work Tuesday. So which day would they start with?
No, this is, like I say, the minister is, throwing it out for discussion and debate and so on. But, that's something that we are going to have to discuss and see how that is going to work.
It will take a while.
Yeah.
But we need a think tank. You need thinkers to come in there. And
But one of the first things we want to do, Nital, is to bring back our civil service to an efficient, effective institution, where in the civil service we had good service and civility. Now we don't have no civility and we don't have no service. And so we have to get back on the track. When the civil service was the civil service who produced.
But it's being tolerated.
That's the point.
So how
tolerated.
do we get over that hurdle?
That's the point. We have to call out people.
Tough love.
Yeah, we have to call out people. We have to tell people what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. Regularity, punctuality. Good customer service. When people come here, it's because they come for service and you must treat them respectfully.
Your worst enemy should be able to show up on your job and get professional treatment.
Yeah.
Professional treatment. You see, from the time the government, you have some people taking lunch from 12 to 1. Some taking from 1 to 2. But you now have other persons going on from 12 to 2.
Yeah. In fact, the other day.
You don't suspect them because you know that there's a lunch hour from 1 to 2. So you don't know which one
you don't know which one they go on. In fact, the other day, I called to a department in government, a ministry, asked for somebody. They say, she's on lunch. I said, okay, no worries. So I said, well, let me call back in an hour's time because lunch is a... I call back in an hour's time. They tell me she on lunch. I say, so she gone to cook. I thought she went to eat, but she come like she gone to cook.
No, you could hardly tell what's going on because people are playing games with the lunch hour.
I see people, Nital, civil servants. I come up church, 4th Street, and see a civil servant sitting down, on the corner there, opposite.
On the right hand side when you're going across Central Street.
Yeah. Sitting down. I mean, could you imagine that? In the middle of a working day, a civil servant sitting down on the corner, sitting down.
What time it was?
About what? Midday, maybe somewhere midday. But if you come out for lunch or you're going somewhere, you don't sit down. What kind of signal is that you're sending?
A whole different mindset. And the younger persons doing it too.
I mean, you understand that?
How do we get them to understand that this is one thing we would not accept?
Yeah.
Huh? And then they roll the spliff.
Yeah.
Go back to work.
Yeah.
How could you do that?
Yeah.
You think everybody could stand the stench of marijuana? Yes, we're trying to do something with it for some economic benefits and buoyancy.
And you're trying
But
to
at the same-
decriminalize
right.
it because that is wrong to spoil people's
Right.
life and so. But how they're behaving is unacceptable.
You can't get out of control. You have people walking by the daycare center saying that they're opening children's bag to pack away the stuff. And the clothes them smell stink of marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
You can't assault workers like that. It's not
No.
everybody. I mean, I have friends who would smoke,
Mm-hmm.
but I never smoke in my life. I never even drank wine.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody can disrespect me unless I just don't socialize.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we still have to be mindful that we're pushing the agenda,
Yeah.
but we got vulnerable population that we need
I
to
tell
protect.
you, we want
Huh?
order, we want discipline, we want respect. Once you lose those, you lose the society, you lose the country.
And then be difficult to build back, you know.
Yeah.
So we have to be mindful. We cannot utter unbridled narrative out there.
Mhm.
You know, we have to, the elders, them got to tell the youths them
Yeah.
that that's not the way to do it. either.
Absolutely.
But you see, they wouldn't do it because they want people to patronize what they have to sell.
Mhm.
And we got to be realistic about that. We have an increase in persons suffering from marijuana-induced psychosis at our hospital.
Mhm.
We got to come out and let people know because the population must not be deceived into believing
Yeah.
that all is well
Oh,
with this
with the
pilot
marijuana
project we're going
smoking.
to. No,
Mhm.
it can't be
No.
well.
No.
You know, once ago they said the brain is not fully developed until you're 25. Dr. Gupta them came back about 3-4 months ago and said, no, they can't up to 30. No, we cannot we cannot decriminalize marijuana because remember we're talking about medicinal marijuana. But who works with the medicine and use it out in the,
Yeah.
you know, it's more recreational and we gotta be
Yeah,
realistic.
yeah. Mhm.
Right? And it's not good. We're having issues with the youngsters and they're becoming less productive.
Mhm.
And we have to tell them, look, if you don't become more productivity,
Yeah.
the social security would not be there because just like how I paid my monies for those who worked before me to get a benefit.
Yeah.
But you got to come
You got
behind
to-
and
yeah.
press I could get
Yeah.
unless you have a void.
Mhm.
You'll have a void.
Yeah.
You have to go to that extent to inform them. That, and it come like the more they smoke, the less they work. That inversely proportional. The more they smoke, the less they work. But how you can get contributions going on to Social Security? We have to let them know the whole game. It's not just you smoke and you feel angry and you do whatever. You got to produce.
That's right.
That is why when the government say we're giving a little incentive, $1,000, but you have to have in 26 contribution or whatever. Some of them ain't got it. You understand?
A gentleman was telling me the other, he said, boy, Sam, I really sorry that the government want more, stringent on the compliance. He's a self-employed and he getting his Social Security now. He said, boy, if I could have been better off and I could have been getting more, but it's slackness
If
a
he
bit.
force himself to do what he has to do.
And so sometimes that's what I'm saying, the government has a responsibility to protect people from themselves, to make sure that you do the right thing.
But
That's part of their
sitting
responsibility.
down by the desk, Social Security would have some field officers.
That's what he's saying, is that there should
Right.
be more,
Right, and we're not having that.
proactive in terms of the compliance.
Consumers affairs, too much people sitting down by the desk. Because from the time, yes, reality is that let us look at economics. Just a little bit of it. You increase the minimum wage. You're part of the committee. But that increase is not being felt the way it was supposed to.
You-
Because
you lose a lot of
the
it.
imported inflation
Yeah, you lose.
is not giving you the feel that you should have had by the $70 increase. Now we got to face it. And the inflation ain't going up anywhere. It is inflation could only go up. I don't know, you have situation where inflation come back down.
Well, you could get inflation
Yeah, but
come down.
over a period of time.
Productivity it reduces the inflation because if you produce more, because the inflation comes when excessive demand when there's a shortage of supply. So if you're producing more, then goods become cheaper, and so
Producing them more way there, but they're coming
Yeah.
from overseas.
Right. well, it's anywhere that
The
happening.
supply coming, yeah.
Is anywhere where it's happening. Is anywhere it's happening. That's how inflation is caused, by excessive demand.
I know that it was difficult and tough realizing the $70 increase, the $70 increase and a lot of discussion and back and forth. You had resistance, you had counter resistance, and I wonder if the maths was really right, because the 470 at that time, given the rate of inflation, most of it came from overseas. I wonder if it produced the intended effect.
Yeah, people benefited.
I wonder if it really produced the intended, and I hope that this was just not a snapshot, but then would be examined and maybe readjusted.
Absolutely, monitoring it. And like for example, the introduction of the Productivity Council is part of the recommendations. We have monitoring, price control, and the cost of living, and all of those are part of recommendations in terms of increasing the skill, turning ABEC into a training school, high trade school,
But
and
you
so
got to
on.
remove that stigma, because what happened is that, I'll tell you, in the past when somebody
Move
did
it,
something not
put
so
it into a
nice,
center of excellence.
yeah. When persons did things that were not so nice, so to speak, they ask you, where you went ABEC now? So how do we remove that stigma?
Again, by making it not ABEC, but a center of excellence.
Changing name.
That's it.
Changing
a center
name.
of excellence, not ABEC.
Right.
And there you're teaching technology, all the modern, skills and so on.
But you cannot have an institution that would give certificate to members of the population, and the government is not acknowledging it.
Right. No,
You
of
cannot
course
tell
not.
me pursue that, and when I done it, when I finish, I can't get a job because you don't count the achievement from
And it's
that
a government
institution. Right, so we have to
accredited
up-
by the government. Yeah.
We have to up it.
Yep.
Because if you come with your AVEC qualification and somebody comes with a CSEC or CAPE, they're going to be given priority.
That's why when I was there as the Minister, ABEC was, you could get qualification to go to CFBC.
From AVEC.
From ABEC. Because, if it's same way you could get your CXC to go into ABEC, then ABEC must be able to get your qualification from ABEC should be able to get you into CDB, to CFBC.
But the problem you had they used to do basic. I remember one time I talked to you about the basic and general.
Yeah.
And I even put it in a song that the basic just couldn't make sense, because the government paying the same amount of money for an individual to do a basic CXC.
Yeah.
And then the general. And you tell somebody, if you get a distinction at basic level, it could be counted as a 3 at the general level. And that wasn't going to work, because I don't even understand the concept, because it's a completely different syllabus.
Yeah.
I might be doing quadratic equation, that the algebra, and you might just be doing linear equation, completely different. Why would you have told people if you get a 1 in basic, it would be equivalent to a 3 in when the syllabuses were different? Yeah, I campaign against that in Calypso and all sort of stuff, because it did not make sense. And I say, if you're going to give somebody 6 basic exams to do, you might as well give them 2 or 3 general. Because all the energy they're putting into pass, and then that would not be counted, because society wasn't accepting that,
No.
And that is where you're talking about the AVEC now. You said change the name to a center of excellence.
That's right.
Because
that's right.
perception
that's
is
right.
important
That's right.
when
Yeah,
it comes
right.
to achieving academic.
Yeah. Make it a center of excellence. And that's what we have to do in our country. You know, when you're talking about sustainable development and so on, you know, we are not going to have any sustainable development with our attitude and, you know, this way of life. We have to change our way of life. People, sustainable mean that we must strive for excellence. We must be the best. We must always try to be the best version of ourselves, the best that we can be. That is how our country is going to advance and develop.
I agree.
And we must invest in our people in that way. Invest in our people and to put in the rules and the regulations and the system to make sure that those things happen.
25 by 25, Mr. Kondo.
25 by 25.
Listen. You identified some crops, some food stuff that you decided that you're going to work on and decrease the importation by 25%. I don't know what the list is.
By next year, yeah.
By next year. The first day next year, the 31st day.
Well, I don't know. But next year, let's say next year.
Yeah, but the thing about that is that, yes, you can achieve that in 2025, but could it be sustained?
Well,
2026 and 2027 and 2027.
But-
I would just last 2025.
No, not 25. When we say that is going to be the point of demarcation. But from that, we're going better than that. This 25 by 25, I mean that when we reach it, that's the end, you know. That is the target. That is what we need to do in order to get ahead of the game.
Yeah, but how long can you sustain that
We're
target?
supposed to sustain it forever.
Right.
Forever.
That is true. But if you say, look, we're bringing in item A, we are going to reduce the importation of it by 25%.
Yeah.
So everybody in a rush now, and they're producing. After 2025, you realize by the production gone down 15%. So instead of the 25 being sustained, that's now gone down to 10. So you must be able to sustain it for a protracted period of time.
Exactly. That is the whole point.
How would you get it done? How could you encourage
by continue doing what you're doing, that people see that this is the way to do things. That's how we're going to do it. That is what a sustainable island state means, you know. That is what, if you are to aim, if your objective, if your ambition, if your aspiration is to reach a sustainable island state, you have to do these things and sustain them, maintain them.
You might do it to achieve it in 2025.
And beyond.
And then you reduce your effort now.
No, you ain't supposed to reduce your effort. 2025 is the target. We're saying, boy, if we are to get this thing, let us make this target. We could measure this. And once we reach there, we know how we could improve on that. Not get there and then stop and then you go back.
But that's a possibility, not in for everything.
No, yeah.
Because you might have 10 things in a list and you sustain that for 8 of them.
Yeah.
But for 2 of them, you slide back because
Well,
the condition is not conducive.
Exactly. And then you find out what it is you have to do.
Right.
What
to get it back where it's supposed to be.
Yeah. So it is a continuous improvement and advancement of your life. That is how you are going to sustain it. That is what a sustainable island state means. To get to a level and a standard and to continue to improve it.
I listen to conversations from farmers and I don't know if the conditions are totally conducive that you get there in 2025, whether the 1st of January or the 31st of December, and have it protracted. I don't know if you could go from 2025 to 2035 and from 2035 to 45.
Yeah.
What efforts are we? What's the support system?
Well, all those will come along with in terms of the program
for 2025.
Yeah, but and continue.
Yeah,
they're supposed to stop.
That's the ideal.
Yeah.
Ideally, we like to continue.
Yeah.
But reality is good to be positive, but better to be realistic.
Yeah.
Do you think that we are shaping up Be the selected. I don't know if you know the selected items.
I don't know. I'm not familiar. But
I got to
you
get
see,
the minister here to have a discussion.
yeah, that is why we have to get our people into this frame of mind.
Mm-hmm.
That it is a continuous and if we get the people in the habit, you know, that your quality of work and your, you know,
No, I agree. We got to be positive. With
that has to be a part of you. That must become a part of you. That's how you're going to become a sustainable island state. Food security, energy security.
But,
I mean,
but Sam, a bad habit is like a soft and comfortable bed.
Yeah.
Easy to get into and hard to get out
yeah,
of.
part of it is to get us out of those bad habits. That is what the sustainable island state means. It's like people messing up the street. We can't say, well, boy, that's people's habit. We got to stop people from messing up the street.
No, you're right. Because a police officer would see somebody littering.
Yeah, you can't say that's a bad habit, so go ahead and think.
His job
No.
to tell them.
No, they're not
don't
supposed to
litter.
be doing that.
Yeah, police officer, it doesn't matter. You tell somebody
Yeah,
don't litter.
don't do that.
The ex officio litter wardens.
That's why I say, we have so much work to do. And look, let me tell you something. The good thing about this, we're small enough to get it done. We are small enough to get what we want done. We got to thank God for that. And we must make sure we get it done.
Sometimes the country appears if it's a continent, boy.
Yeah. No. I mean, all this.
We don't work in unison.
All this,
This shouldn't be
all this illegal dumping. You think that's supposed to be taking place? You think people are supposed to be doing that and getting away with it?
Go and police it.
Everybody, all of us.
Right.
All
but
of
you
us.
You want to say nothing about your neighbor.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We used to tell our neighbor when I was growing up in McNair, just down the street there, you had to clean everything, and if you see people doing anything, you tell on them. You tell Norman and Colbert and them when they're coming around. That woman, they throw out she trash the wrong time.
Ideally, that is what we would want.
Yeah.
By that time, you used to go bottle and stone. No. You offend somebody's bottle and stone back then.
Mm-hmm.
No, the whole different. You see, we got to integrate everything.
Yeah.
We got to, okay, let us suppose we do our 25 by 25.
Mm-hmm.
And we did it with a set population.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have a set supply,
Mm-hmm.
set demand.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We don't need anything else. We need 25% less supply from overseas.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I respect CARICOM. They have done a lot to help the islands in the region.
Mm-hmm.
But when you done do your 25 by 25, with the given population size, and then you open the floodgates, could you maintain the 25 by 25? Because you have a whole different factor. You got moving, parts.
Yeah, you see? And that's the whole thing, Nital. You know? The whole concept of the freedom of movement, free movement, is something that came from even before CARICOM in 73. You know, maybe it came from 58 with the Federation.
Mm-hmm.
But we are a new age and a new stage. I think those things have to be revisited and see what it is we need. When we were talking about this freedom of movement, we thought, well, it was different times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the whole idea, that was the concept. That was it. But now these are different times. And so what we need to do is to revisit those things and see what it is we need to do in order to advance. Because that was to advance our people, you know. The freedom of movement was supposed to advance our people, you know. And so if what we're going to do now is not going to advance our people, we have to think about it again. Yeah. And see what we need to do and do whatever we need to do to advance our people.
Because we have to understand that the larger countries, they have cheaper access to degrees.
That's one thing. Yeah.
And as a result, you have a lot of graduates who
Right.
are either unemployed
Right.
or underemployed.
Yeah.
You might be worth $6,000 a month, but because of the unemployment, you could only get $3,500 or $4,000. So there might be a situation where those persons might start to occupy our land space and as a result compete with those who maybe just tap out a CFBC with just an associate, much less those who tap out a high school with just CSEC exam. How are we going to counter that? Do we reach a volume where we say, look, at this point, we can put a freeze on this until we re-establish our equilibrium.
Yeah.
Because you have people better qualified because they have more persons per capita with respect to degrees and those are because it was basically free in a lot of cases. So how do we counter that?
That's why I say we have to go back at the drawing board and see. Like I said, the original thought was for that, but now we see what could happen where we are in terms of the level of development in St. Kitts, where we are at the level of development in Barbados, where we are at the level of the development in Jamaica and Trinidad, and we see what it is we need to do as a group, because the whole free movement was to improve our situation, all of us together. If that is not going to improve our situation, we have to rethink it.
It's a tough one, but a lot of moving parts.
But that is not beyond us.
We got to be positive, yes.
Yeah, that is not beyond us. We are capable of doing it.
How do you tell people who still trying to get a traction from COVID in 2022 and were not able to do it even at this juncture, but then they have to compete with somebody who coming in. It's like they're hitting you below the belt. You're unstable. It's like your days, but the referee say continue fighting. Mike Tyson just hit you in your head, knock you out.
That is why we're looking at it again to see what we need to do. You know, the freedom of movement thing is a. I have the book. I'm gonna let you have a look at it. It was in 2001. That's the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas.
Yes.
That was 2001, and so we are in 2024 now. This is 20 years ago, right? And so we reach now, and we see where we are 20 years later, and we see, well, if this is what we want, according to how we write it 20 years ago, maybe, boy, we have to tweak this thing, maybe that it can't go so, maybe Sing's got to get some special dispensation because we only 68 square miles, and we ain't got a university, and we ain't thing, and so that thing, and Barbados got the university and Barbados thing, and Guyana got gold and oil and bauxite.
We got all human resources.
And all we think. So we have to look and see where we are and what we need to do. The whole purpose of it was to advance and develop the region as a whole. Well, if what we're doing, if out of that come in the disadvantage and the, disaffection and so on of some countries, we have to look at it again and see exactly what we need to do.
Who's going to be the adjudicators?
The CARICOM, all the heads. Those things are done at the meetings, so...
You think Mayor Martley and them going to take us on when they're trying
they
to
have
get
to.
some of the...
Look here, what a name.
I know they're going to take us on. I mean, they're going to listen.
Bahamas is not part of the free movement. They're in CARICOM, but they're not part of the free movement.
So can that happen for us?
Well,
Would it be within our best interest?
You have to go there and make your case and see what it is you want to do. And because you have your national interests. Your national interest must come first. And then you have your regional interests.
But have we started to do that? Because
you started to do that. I believe part of the problem is that we were not speaking about it, we were not discussing it. It's all our fault.
And my understanding is that it has been up quite a while.
I tell you, it's 2001 because
the back door?
No, it ain't coming through the back door. It was there on the front door staring us. We ignored it. But we never
discussed it. It went dormant. Yeah. And then it now spike up on us.
Because it only come to the attention of people when Mayor Martley said that it's supposed to come into effect on the 31st of March. And people say, you're joking. But dear, our heads sat down and agreed. But it wasn't part of the discussion and so in the territories.
Yeah, but why?
That's it. Why?
What is the explanation? Because people got to come to people with explanation. Sometimes people don't mind being disadvantaged. But if you give them an explanation as to why you didn't come before.
A reason, a justification.
Something you don't have to run and just say what you have to say. and let people make up their mind that, look, we have to make adjustment, we have to evolve. But sometimes when a man unstable, it's difficult for him to be part at the stem. He'll be like a leaf on the branch, just swaying in the wind, or a pendulum in a vacuum going from side to side. We need people, and that is why the work of the civil service is so important. 'Cause
Critical.
They got to
Critical.
come out and help in this discussion. You know? You
not
can't
help,
push the Prime Minister
not help
out there.
is their responsibility, not help. It is the civil service responsibility to explain this and to say what's happening and what's going on. That is the responsibility of the civil
So
service.
with the forum and them, we're not hearing anything.
No, we're really late on it. And like I say, we only begin to discuss it when me and Marty say, boy, 31st of March is when we do this thing. And people begin to say, Antigua, and people start jumping up and down. But this was something that was talked about long time ago. Like I say, even in the Federation time, go back to Jamaica and them say, no. We ain't in the story with all you. You are going to want to come with me in Jamaica, so we going. And then Trinidad say, okay, one from 10 leaves north. And then Barbados say,
what are we
Guyana
supposed
say
to
we're going
say?
to
What are we supposed to now say to them?
Yeah, exactly.
What are we supposed to now
And look,
say?
let me tell you something. Because we were the real regionalists, Bradshaw and believed in it. Believe in it. In fact,
was the finance minister, right?
Yeah, finance minister, Federation. In fact, when the Federation dissolved, and Jamaica, Trinidad, Guyana, and then Barbados went. And then we were floundering. We didn't know we were fish or fowl, and we said, well, y'all can't go independent, so y'all going to go to semi-status. That was statehood. St. Kitts was the first country to become an associated state in 1967. I think Grenada was the last to become an associated state. But Grenada was the first to become an independent country, and St. Kitts was the last to become an independent country, because all along we are hoping and wishing and praying that we could come together, because we believe in St. Kitts that our destiny, our salvation was part of a regional thing, that 68 square miles or 100 square miles, St. Kitts and Nevis, 50,000 people, not going to be able to, we're not going to be able to get our, best results and so on. And we need the wider region to help us. But we struggle.
But why are we surgically discriminating against the Haitians in CARICOM? They're not part of the persons who are permitted to have this free movement.
Yeah, again,
what is the reason?
All of that.
I think as a country we have to find out. We have to find out, and we have to explain to people.
Yeah.
You just don't bring out a list of 13, and when somebody asks about Haiti, you just simply tell them that they're not a part of the listing. Why? I know they have the violence going on right now, and this sort of surgical discrimination could be a contributor to the situation over there. So why are we not?
Yeah.
Why are they not included?
Yeah.
With the minister of CARICOM right now?
I don't even know if we have a ministry of
We
CARICOM.
don't have.
Mm.
But what is the explanation? You sense it in any way? What?
Yeah.
We kind of understand.
Yeah.
But what can we do to assist?
It's like, I don't know, it's like when, what the name? Bahamas. Bahamas were part of the CARICOM thing, but never part of the single market and economy. And so was Haiti. Haiti came into on the CARICOM in I think was 1996 or 1997 or thereabout, and they were never part of the, because remember Haiti was coming. Haiti had twice the population of the rest of CARICOM. Right now Haiti is 11.5 million. CARICOM is 5 point something, twice the population, or 7, wherever it is. And so there were always, differences in terms of the economic, social, political structure. And again, Haiti came out of the French thing. Most of the CARICOM is English speaking. They had a different experience and a different history. but they're our people, you know, and that is why I believe that with CARICOM involvement in Haiti now, we are going to see a better Haiti, and a better Haiti going to mean a better CARICOM and a better region.
Well, we're going to be starting.
It started already. It started already. It started
to
already.
better consider Haiti?
Eh?
To better consider Haiti?
Yeah, I mean,
With the free movement.
With the free movement.
Because
I don't know.
That
Yeah.
we're taking that action and that there is pushing back Haiti. Pushing back. And we got to realize that we got to make up. I believe somehow some of the leaders, they're afraid of Haitians.
What do you mean by
because of the social practices. Some of them not comfortable. If you have an open discussion, some of them are afraid of Haiti, of Haitians, because they feel like they perform these social
rituals.
things, and people could be upfront and say, yes, me ain't touching that.
I don't think it's just that. I think it's, a lot of stuff. I mean, Haitian had a different historical development and so on,
They were taking advantage of.
Yeah. And culture and so on. It was different to our English speaking Caribbean. It was just different. And
we're attempting to have one state.
One Caribbean.
One Caribbean state.
Yeah.
A lot of things would have to change.
Yeah.
From a legal perspective.
Yeah.
Are they going to recommend a leader for this one state?
What, CARICOM?
Yes.
No, that's what the federation was supposed to be. That don't break up, that ain't going to happen again.
So where they coming from with
that
this
is
one
not
state?
One state.
You can deport somebody out of, you can deport a Bajan out of St. when we don't open up because he got involved in criminal activities. Where we going to deport him to? We end to come from Frigate Bango Keys.
Tell the one thing ain't gonna happen again. We won't go. That's what the federation was about. That's why you had Grantley Adams was the prime minister of the federation, and that was part of the jealousy and thing with Jamaica and Bustamante and Eric Williams and all of them. That ain't gonna work again. We ain't gonna got that.
So where the guidance gonna come from one Caribbean state?
One Caribbean. Well, one Caribbean people and one Caribbean system.
CARICOM, that's one state.
But you're not going to have that. That ain't going to happen. that ain't going to happen again. That ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen. You ain't got no one government for the Caribbean. All of us going to have your own government. That ain't going to happen again.
So how effective it would be if our laws are not in unison? When the legal minds then come together and say X, Y, Z.
No, what the CARICOM Court of Justice, if we get regarding that, all that is part of it, the Caribbean identity.
I went to a mediation training program, and it is only then that I learned that Barbados had their own Chief Justice, as opposed to the rest of the Caribbean. Yeah, we had our Chief Justice, the lady there who going to retire soon.
Yeah,
and Barbados had
that was the OECS. That was the OECS, Miss Pereira.
Yes.
She was the Chief Justice of the
Caribbean.
Not the Caribbean, the OECS. Not that the Caribbean.
Yeah, the OECS because Barbados had their own.
Yeah, Barbados and Trinidad and.
So what are we going
Trinidad
to say?
is not part of the Caribbean Court of Justice either, And there's where that is where it resides, but they're not part of it yet.
A lot of moving parts.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So it is a work in progress, and it is going to take a lot. So these things not going to happen now, but it is their aspirations. They're what we would like to see, but a lot of things are going to take time. I mean, I don't know if in our lifetime or what. I am hoping that the Caribbean Court of Justice becomes a reality.
Our final state, final court?
Yeah. I'm hoping that happens.
You serious?
Yeah.
There's so much friend thing around here with this guy.
You see, that's what I mean.
Yes, a lot of friend thing who know who in college and university. Them fellas up there want to hear anything about that. Most of them studied in the Caribbean, and usually if you have a prime minister who might be friendly with the chief justice around here.
yeah,
If we got
yeah.
the Caribbean court as our final court,
Yeah.
could be problematic.
Yeah,
you know?
but
the potential
Yeah,
for
that's what I said. So,
skewness.
so if we are not going to have one Caribbean court, how are we going to get one Caribbean prime minister?
But that is the thing. That is the $1 million question.
That ain't going to happen.
Because we
You
have
know,
to force to certain things. We have to decide, look, we're accepting the Caribbean Court of Justice as our final court.
Yep. Done with the Privy Council.
You see, but the thing, you know, sometimes the letter of the law and the spirit of
Absolutely.
the law, that's
Yeah.
total.
Yeah,
In the Caribbean, we
Yeah.
just deal with the
Yeah.
letter of the
Yeah,
law.
yeah.
you know.
And the spirit, that's what I tell him, you
The spirit
know.
of the law is lacking.
Yeah, I agree with you
England Privy
100%.
Council so put in the spirit of the law.
That's what I said. You know, that I was saying. The letter kill it, but the spirit give it life. This is the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you can't legislate for every eventuality.
Of course, because the in your constitution would be silent on a few issues.
Absolutely.
Would not speak to certain things.
Absolutely.
So you have to go somewhere else to get that silence addressed.
The spirit.
Yes. You
Spirit
know,
give it
you
life.
You will not always got precedent. You must have a time when the law is silent and you got to go see
Exactly.
to feel like
Absolutely.
whole. But as a people, and that's where morals will come in, you know. That's where morals. I don't
That's
know how
right.
many persons will be willing to have a Caribbean Court of Justice as the final one.
You don't think so?
But I don't know how we could function as one Caribbean state if we can't even put that together.
That's the point.
It's tough.
It's a work
man.
in progress.
The legal minds them got to come because my understanding is that somewhere down the line, the legal minds will come together and put a framework of things for us to be governed by. I don't know what that's gonna happen. I really don't. It's tough, you know. We got to be positive.
Yeah.
But we got to be realistic. There are
Yeah.
going to be quite a number of challenges.
Yeah. And we got to keep working at it. And we ain't supposed to solve all the problems, me and you know. We do what we have to do the best we can and move on. Brother them did the thing. They're dead now.
So our great grandchildren got to come and can.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they want this thing within 10 years.
You know, it's like Alex Haley roots. Life is a continuum. Those who were here, those who were here already, those are here now, and those to come.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is carry on the legacy,
Like
and
a
then we
relay.
have to make life, you know, make the way for those who to come. It's going to continue. It's a continuum.
But it is difficult for you to say accept and then just retrofit. I don't believe in that. You can't tell me accept something the 31st of March and then walk towards retrofitting. No, we need more guide. We needed a little more time than that.
Yeah.
We needed more time than that. We're not going to accede and ratify to something and then try to retrofit. We can't do that. you know.
No, we have
We,
time.
don't want, we need time
Yeah.
and we need massive consultation.
In fact, I think the act speak to something like 7 years, you know. It was supposed to be.
7
you know?
years?
Yeah. I think so. If I'm not, you know,
I
if
feel
I'm right,
that
I think it's.
sometimes administrators disrespect the general public. They feel like they wouldn't understand certain things, so they do not come. But they fail to believe that you got people in the general public who might be a little bit unfair and more coherent than them. Just come, involve people.
Yeah.
Involve people.
Yeah.
And that is where
where
our...
the discussion and the dialogue.
But if your PSs start continue to treat people like that, people will stay away from any discussion that the government would try to push because of the pompous attitude of some of the people. When you go and you see them, you say, man, man, be nothing with you going to do.
Yeah.
Now people do that.
I know. People tell me that all the time.
Listen to this person.
People say, look, Sam, me ain't go, I don't know if you could go up there because me ain't going to talk to she.
Right.
I mean, going to talk to... I mean,
and that's not
days
supposed to be.
No, people supposed to feel comfortable. They are the people who are making the policies and making the decisions and shaping people's lives. People, they're supposed to be accessible and available and accommodating. They're the opposite. They're the opposite.
Because if you ill accommodate one person, by extension, is 10 more people, you know. Because they're going to tell people about it. And even without them directly experiencing it, they walk away, man, I want nothing to do with that person either. So every one person you ill treat,
Boy,
that's
yeah.
10 other
I tell
persons
you.
is attached to that.
Let me tell you something.
Categorization.
And you know why those things upset me so much? Because I know me, right? So I could imagine people. I was the deputy prime minister. I Sam Kondo. I was the UN ambassador. I was all kind of things. And so when I hear how them people just talk, I know what other people feel. In fact, a lady came down by me one time. She was trying to get on the pap, right? If you see the lady, you just know she wants some pap. And so she said, yeah, Mr. Kondo. I said, come with me. I put her in my car, drop her up, and went in by them. I said, look, this lady thing. And so they're telling me. I said, the whole thing. They're telling me the same foolishness what I tell the woman.
You serious?
So yeah, and somebody, a person in there tell me, they say, look no, is Sam Kondo you're talking to you know Sam Kondo. She said, why care?
You serious?
I'm telling you, why care? So you could imagine them people ain't going there to get that. They ain't going to go there. You tell them they ain't going there. Mr. Kondo, go up there, see if you could. They ain't going there.
And they dish out parallel treatment to
Yeah,
you.
yeah. That's how they behave. They ain't gonna respect. They ain't gonna manners. They ain't got nothing. Arrogant.
You believe they know who is who around here?
Yeah, but
No, serious. You believe they know who is who?
they know they don't
They're
care.
supposed to know we're
They
small
don't care.
enough. Yeah.
They don't care. And so I take on that responsibility. I gonna go because anything they tell me, I could tell them back.
Because sometimes they feel like people too respectful.
Yeah. I could
to
tell them
return
back anything
fire-
they tell me.
return fire
So
with
I just
fire.
go. I know how them people feel. I know what it is. The people come in tears. I said, okay, come, let me go. Let me think. They ain't gonna respect, they ain't gonna manners, they ain't gonna behavior.
And they couldn't care.
They ain't care.
They had a situation where a lawyer, well, she had a law degree, but she did not get called to the bar as yet. However, it was my understanding that she was prosecuting a very high level matter in the court. So I called there to ask them if somebody has not been called to the bar, could they prosecute a matter that is destined for the High Court? And the lady who answered the phone, she said, well, it's something they've been doing. I asked, but is it legal? 'Cause I have a law degree too. I graduated with honors from London with a law degree. And I know I can't go in the court because I did not do the LEC. But this person has not been called to the bar, but they're doing it. And I said, well, I don't want to know what is being done. I want to know if it is legal for somebody who has not been called to the bar as yet to be prosecuted. So she said, well, that is how we're going. And she still ain't answering. I said, okay then. I will try to seek some information from a senior counsel. You call me to ask me this and then you come me about senior, but just go where you go. Just like that.
I'm telling you.
No, serious.
I'm telling you. That's the behavior. That is the behavior.
If I call she to ask her information and now come tell she
Yeah,
was see.
yeah.
But if you can't help me,
Yeah.
and I go call a senior counsel,
No.
regardless of who.
You can't help you, so go home. Go home. Don't
I
think.
call on
Just
the
go
phone,
home.
the
Just
man
go
bang
home.
down the phone in
Yeah,
my ear.
yeah.
You
That's
know,
the behavior
that
in the
is
government
why-
office. Getting taxpayers' money.
That is why when you call, you must let them identify themselves as to who you're talking with. So when you have a complaint of that nature, you know who to go and make the complaint about on. You understand? Man, that can't be right.
No.
The attitude was uncalled for.
I'm telling you.
Huh?
I'm telling you.
I
That's
can
how
go
they
seek
behave.
a senior counsel to get a proper explanation, and you're angry at that and bang on phone in me ear?
Yeah. That's how they behave.
I'm working in the Attorney General office.
Yeah. Going home, taking the big check, going home a week, a month
That's
time.
very, very disrespectful.
Yep.
You can't guide somebody. When you're getting frustrated, is that a normal situation?
They don't want to ask them nothing. They want to tell them nothing.
Some we could do better than that.
We have to do better than that. We have to do better than that. And I am not going to sit down and stand by and think, well, that is it and that's how it's going to go. It can't go so. Because if people sat down, Nital, and didn't do anything, we couldn't be who we are, you know.
That's right.
Brother them went up and started march against governor coming down from England and so, you know. That's how we get our own governor, you know. Brother them march and thing to get people here, what do you think, the 1935. That's how we get,
Buckley's
you know.
transformation.
Yeah. Yeah, so we can't sit down and say that's how it is and that's what's happening.
It will be disrespectful to those who made the first step.
Yeah.
For you to stagnate it at our step. It must be continuous. Like you said, you quoted the thing, the continuum.
Yeah.
We go and we go, we do as much as we can. I could remember when I lived at Navy Street with Cameron and them, there was a governor who lived at Navy Street just to the bottom of Maud, Bridgewater Alley. Who he was?
Allen.
He was a local.
I mean, Milton Allen. And his wife was Locker Allen, a teacher.
Right to the end of the alley, just across from the girls' school. Yeah, he used to live
He ended
right on.
up, he lived around the fort, and the building, what was the OAS building, was his building. He gave it to the state. Yeah.
Milton
That's what them
Allen.
people do. All what they had, they give back to the country, you know. Bradshaw and Allen and all of them people, France and everybody, you know. That's how them people live. They live for the advancement and the development of the people. People coming here exploiting people, parasites.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I heard the Prime Minister multiplying by 4 because they say when one person comes, bringing along children and whoever else, so if it is 5,500 and you multiply it by 4,
That's 25,000.
20,000.
Yeah.
4 5 are 24, 5,
Yeah.
20,
Half of our
22,000.
population.
Right. You know, and we have to be mindful of what we're going to do because you see where the complexity happens now. We're making provision for our 25 by 25 based on our population. We're going into the free movement. But what about those who come in via citizen by investment?
Citizen by investment, yeah.
We got to add in all of that there. Yeah, 22,000, that's half our population. So who coming in going to be added to that? Because we never know when these people would come and decide that they want permanent residents around here. So what do we do?
No,
It's not an easy equation. A lot of moving parts because we're talking about CARICOM members who coming in, about the Russian and the New Zealanders.
Iranian
Yeah, when they come in, how do we accommodate that extra 22,000? Are we factoring that into the mathematical equation of discomfort that we might experience as a result of overwhelmed land space? I would like to talk to Mr. Warren about that.
I mean,
But
we
he
just
can't be the lone person out there talking.
No.
We need more people out there
everybody.
talking.
Yeah. The Ministry of Trade, the
So
Ministry of
where
Trade.
they
That's the people who are responsible for the CARICOM affairs.
So tell us how your ministry could assist in getting us relaxing our minds to accommodate the influx that we anticipate. Ministry by ministry, now one person supposed to come up.
You heard Kenny Anthony, former Prime Minister of St. Lucia.
St. Lucia.
He was on groundings a couple of Fridays ago, and he was saying that he was trying to relieve people of the fears that we're gonna be swamped. People. He said that ain't gonna happen, but there's some people who feel so we have to discuss it. He said that people are not going to leave St. Lucia, or leave Trinidad, or leave Guyana, or leave St. Vincent and just come. It's going to be done,
We're sending them invitation.
Eh?
No. We're sending them invitation to come. They're going to come as long as you open the gate, they would reach.
Yeah. Okay.
It is going to be a gateway activity. Just marijuana is a gateway drug. You get into it and you smoke other stuff, use other stuff. It's going to be a gateway activity, but because from the time it is open, people going to come. You say people ain't going to come. You say much people don't reach here. What about those who came in illegally.
And that
Do
is
we
one.
know how many of them? No.
That is one of the things we have to manage and regulate migration. We have to do that. I mean, we're not doing a good job of that at all. And really, before we start anything, we have to get that right. We have
Of
to get
course.
that right. There are too many people here who are illegal and really not.
I supposed to go up the airport, get in touch with the immigration officer. How many Jamaicans do we have in St. Kitts? How many Trinidadians do we have? We don't have any record like that.
We're supposed to.
Because if
We're
we know
supposed to.
that we only had 75 Jamaicans, and then we see a kind of set of crime that we ain't accustomed to on here, we say, well, we got to go check them migrants and see who came in and brought in that culture
With that profile.
of criminal activities. But if you don't even know, I saw somebody post something on the social media, the president of the Spanish Association. He indicated that this gentleman is here. He overstayed. Stabbed somebody 21 times, cut her throat, and the person is out on bail. And I'm trying to ascertain, and he is confused because he's the president of them, you know. And he wants to know, well, how a court could allow somebody to be out there free on bail who did such thing. And he said the person is here illegally. So how do we accommodate that? You see, for this thing this migration thing got to improve.
It has to be managed and regulated.
Yeah.
That is the point.
Stop
All
somebody
around, any part of the world you go, where you have migration, it has to be managed because that is how the world operates. You know, people go leave one country and one place and so on, and that has happened from time immemorial. But when it becomes a problem, when it is uncontrolled and unmanaged, once it is managed and regulated, they'll be all right.
If you give a percentage to how ours is controlled and managed, what percentage would you give it?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't. I don't know.
No, just a while, because you just said that it's not properly managed. We got porous borders.
Yeah. That was said we have to do. And I don't believe that we are doing a good job. We're doing the best we can do in terms of that. The national security and immigration, they're not doing a good job. They're not doing a good job.
No, we have to know how many persons from different nationalities we have here.
They're supposed to be listed. I mean, there are always going to be non-documented people and people who get you the track.
Yes.
But once it becomes unmanageable, that you don't, you know, the undocumented people more than those who are documented, then you have a problem. And so we don't want it to get to that stage.
Spiral out of control.
Right.
I sure you have at least, maybe on a monthly basis, about 5 to 10 persons coming.
On a monthly basis? I believe more than that.
More than that.
Yeah.
But just to be prudent, let us suppose 10. 10 times 12 is 120. 10 times 12 is 120.
And you know what upset me about that thing? Like I said, I don't mind people coming and so, because we have left here, we have gone places.
Different places.
But it's when people want to bring the lifestyle and the culture. I think that people are, I believe that there should be some regulation and crackdown on that. I see some people dressing in town, you know, and I mean talking about Christmas and Carnival, talking about, you know, Monday, Tuesday, you know, day of the week, even Sunday, when there's no carnival. You see some people, they're not supposed to dress in our country.
Clothesless.
Huh?
Clothesless.
Clothesless. I mean, we must not have that. Something has to be done. That's indecent exposure. I'm sure that's against the law.
And in the books.
Yeah.
Indecent exposure.
Yeah. I mean, it is. We must not tolerate that. I don't like seeing it.
Yeah, it look vulgar.
Yeah.
We don't have a problem
Reckless.
with it at carnival time.
Yeah.
Well, how many carnivals we want?
Yeah,
One
that's
every
what I
month?
say.
Yeah, no,
I see some people
right.
the other Sunday morning. I say, boy, I thought Christmas gone. I mean, it look like they're going jamming.
They just don't care. Very
Yeah.
disrespectful.
Disrespecting you. Yeah. That upsets me.
And little children, school children, go down the road and then they
Dressing
want,
as they like. Go. I mean, you see them. I mean, it's just just not.
Yeah, we need to control that.
Yeah.
Because
We
our
need to,
culture would be diluted to
Yeah,
such
yeah.
such a level.
Vulgarize, not diluted. Vulgarize.
And our Calypsonian sang a song that if you want to see it, stay home. But you're talking about on Christmas time.
Yeah.
So it seems as if you might have to stay home.
All day, all year round.
Yeah.
You don't come out.
Yeah.
No, we can't
gotta,
have that.
We got to get better than
Yeah,
that.
we have to be. We are better than that.
Yeah, we have to
Yeah,
get
we are better than
than
that.
that.
Yeah.
We can't let our society run away. We cannot let our society
Not at
run
all.
away.
Yeah. Otherwise, the last stage will be worse than the first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can't do that.
We are trying our best. I haven't heard about crime in a while, and that's a very good sign. Very, very good sign. But then when you have persons coming in, whatever culture, because they got a mindset, and we got to make up our mind that there might be an increase in criminal activity.
They must leave them things home, man. Leave it where they come from. Don't bring it here.
A part of them.
Yeah.
Well, a part of you, know.
No, well, you come into a new
And
environment.
you can't deport them because it's one Caribbean state. You can't deport anybody even if they come from in the court and they don't spend their time. Where you going to deport them to? You can tell a keys man don't come Bastille? You can tell a deputy man don't come Sandy Point? Because it's one state. Those are the challenges we would have. Usually when somebody would have done something like that. They go to the court, they go spend their time in prison, and then they go left the prison and go straight on a plane. But you won't be able to do that anymore because one state is like a home. Whoever here, that's a home for them. You understand? But I just wish that we could do more consultation and instead of having just the one individual going from, we have people here who understand it. Foreign affairs people come out and do some work. Let us know what's going on. We're not talking to the general public. We just assume that they wouldn't understand. And
No, I don't think it's assume that. I think it's carelessness and, but I think that has to be corrected. I don't think that how many people can understand those? Those ain't nothing difficult. That's not rocket science. People know. I mean, you hear Marty. Martin understand.
Of course, Martin
So,
understand.
right, so.
And he had a lady there saying, you know what she said? Y'all come, because I think his people ain't got a good customer service.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
She's saying come because they don't know how to deal
to
with
behave.
people.
Yeah.
So then when you come now and you
Exactly.
fill those positions,
Yeah.
they would understand that
Yeah.
you have to get rid of them because they're being
So-
a bit awkward to their own local people.
So people understand.
Yeah.
So it is, incumbent upon us now to make sure that the discussion takes place and people know. Because that's what was supposed to happen, That's what was supposed to happen, but it didn't.
It did not.
Yeah.
But we're trying to retrofit it now.
We're going to
And
get it
we
right.
got to try our best and try put the word out there. That way, as many persons as possible, you get views from them. Sometimes the least amongst the apostles will come up with an idea that
I'm telling
nobody
you.
else had.
Yeah, telling you.
Nobody
yeah,
else
yeah,
had, and we
yeah,
got to
yeah,
respect
yeah,
people.
Yeah.
Got to
Yeah,
respect.
yeah.
We reach on our last note, so I don't know your parting shot.
Well, I just want to thank you.
encouragement.
Thank you, Nital, for inviting me. I'm really pleased that we're able to do this. That is part of my, mission. I could do anything to help my people and to advance the development and advancement of our country. And I'm always pleased, and I want to thank you sincerely for inviting me. And, I'm available anytime you. Yeah.
And I'm happy, very happy that you did make the sacrifice and come, and looking forward for future conversations. Okay?
All a good cause.
Right.
The opinions and